Yeah, so now it's unmuted, so I can start. So in this talk, I'm going to give you an overview about drug discovery and development, and also I like to give you the job opportunities. So this funny still there is a lot of backgrounds funny. Yeah. So hope now all of the participants are keeping their mic in mute because it gives the disturbance or the flow will get disturbed. So please keep that in mute. And if you have any question, you can raise the question. I'm very happy to answer. So as you can see, this topic is on drug discovery and development. And I chosen this topic with the reason that as a pharmacy, the faculty or the students, one way or other way, every subject is connected to this topic. So in this, as a pharmacy students, we all study various subjects, and you may be wondering why we need to do this many subjects. In fact, the number of subjects that is covered in this course is much higher in number compared to engineering. Engineering typical courses is around 130, whereas in pharmacy, as per even PCI, it is around 200 courses, 200 credits, you can say. So, and we also have a lot of practical oriented training, and I believe that what the PCI has kept, the pattern and the syllabus is a very, very high standard and very, very relevant also to industry jobs. So not only industry, even I go for any other job in this field. So, this topic is also selected keeping you that the participants of this seminar is mostly from third year and above, and they may be preparing for the GPAT, and they do have a 1 unit of this. And this jobs, I think at the end, all that we do is for living and good learning and a good job will give you a good pay, and that makes our life more comfortable. And we also contribute to the society back with whatever we all learn. So with this in view, I moved from the academics, from the industry to the academics, and doing my bit service to the society. So as you all know, anything that we do, okay, so anything that we do, you keep that in mind that all the students is we have to do this in a great manner. It has to be successful at the end. So as long as it is success, that makes you to motivate you to do more and more with more rigor. So all this is will happen only when you do with this few parameters which I am mentioning. So quality is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. It represents a wise choice of many alternatives. Funny, at the end, you can, from the chart, now you can remove these lines. Somebody by mistakenly has given those lines. So you click on the chart, and that in the nav, there will be a button where you can remove that annotation, which is the black line. So go to the more, and you can also check allow participants to edit that you remove it. So then these lines will go away. Funny, are you there? And if you see that how much high intention sincere effort the heroes put in, Prabhas has not worked signed in any movie in the first those 2 years. He worked for one single movie for 2 years, and it increased to look more strong and visible. And he made the diet constructions for 2 years. And imagine he has taken every day biryani. That's what is there in the news to maintain that fat mass. So that is the kind of dedication that they made, and that intelligent direction and skillful execution made that movie highly successful. I think every one of us has seen that movie probably once, twice, thrice, maybe many times, maybe in this COVID time also. But what we miss is we don't track the developments that is happening in drug discovery and development, or in fact, what is happening around the world. I think what is bread and butter for all of us is as a pharmacist, we are a healthcare providers and at various capacities. And one of the capacity is discovering new medicines for the treating the various diseases. So now the whole world has understood the importance of pharma field. Now pharma is initially this kind of pandemics, there will be a drawback, low down, and slowly it gets up, and there will be more and more jobs is expected in India, especially for the pharmacists. So keeping that in view,
excuse me, sir. Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Slides are not moving, sir.
నేను మూవ్ చేయలే. కనిపించిందా?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. So now keeping that view that now this movie all of us seen it, and now we are not seeing is what the movie of that COVID. You see it here, the COVID. Now whole world is fighting, and this fighting is much more intense. In case of Bahubali, it's only internal fight and it's a fight with some other group, and just fight between two groups at the end of the movie. But this COVID, and every one of us who is in this seminar, outside the seminar, or anywhere, any part of the world, are fighting with this virus. And this is much more intelligent virus, and nobody understood how to tackle this virus, how to control or suppress this virus. And now this is the job of many healthcare providers. Many doctors, nurses, pharmacists are working. Now it has become an agenda of the presidents of various countries because it's a political issue now. And now it's once just simple magic of one good tablet, maybe a good injection like in vaccine, probably makes whole world running. Now whole world is stopped for some period. Now they understood that how much is the importance of the pharmacy field, and every government is now ready to support and do what is required at this juncture. So COVID has given a good blessing in disguise. So this is a good blessing for the pharma research, especially in India. Because what the world has realized is that out of 100 generics which are sold in US, and US is promoting generics because of the cost effectiveness, 70% of the raw material is coming from China. We are the best, second best, of the highest in number of FDA approved plants, and we are also depending on China. And China, we are getting the raw material from China. Now China is locked down, India is locked down. Now we are not getting raw materials. So there are no good medicines in US. And many people with chronic disorders, even if you stop your medicine for one day, it could have especially conditions like hypertension. You can't stop your medicine on even one day because body is used to the system. So this is the kind of scenario where the world is grappling. And this story is much more interesting. There are more questions and there are more consequences. But I'm not sure we as pharmacists are following this story. But you all might have seen that Bahubali, but we don't follow what is our bread and butter. So my sincere suggestion to all of you is address your attention to this core subject also. So now what are these the questions that are there? How it entered to the human body? How the virus is spreading? Is it seasonal? Can reinfect the people? Will ever vaccine emerge soon? See that the strategies by the various presidents, China knows it and put the mask, protect themselves, and they put that mask not inform the rest of the world in time. They did it with intention. That's one of the conspiracy people are thinking, because this is an super economic power, and they want to control the world now. So they spread the virus and all countries stopped working, and there's a lot of money flow is going down, and the countries are becoming poorer and poorer day by day. And China has controlled it well. Even the president has moved to the place where it's actually started, Wuhan. But people are not very clear, is it really come from sea market in Wuhan? Some people believe that it is coming from the Wuhan Virus Institute itself. Some people are still believing that virus is being leaked by purpose, by intention. It's a one way of the bioweapon. So these are the consequences. And all of you, I request to see that YouTube below, take a screenshot of that and watch that. It's a short film, about 1 hour. This film will be, I promise you that it is much more exciting than the Bahubali. And you should be excited to watch that YouTube, because these are the questions and consequences which the world is facing now. So with that in mind, I take that example of remdesivir. It's the only rescue as of now. In US and Japan has given an authorization to use this medicine for the treatment of COVID. Is this a good drug? I don't think so. There's many drawbacks with this drug, and it is too early to say that it is a good drug to treat COVID subjects. But as of now, this is the best. That's how this is into news. So when I talk about this drug discovery development, I show you the data, briefly show you that what remdesivir, it's more like a case study. So at the end, I show you the job opportunities for all the young pharmacists from India, and show don't miss that the end part of it. So now if you see that how the drug discovery started, so about few centuries back, if you look at it, what people think is it is more of a disease, a demonic possession, or a wrath of a god. So even now in Telugulo చెప్పాలంటే చాలా మందికి ఈ రోజుల్లో కూడా there are many people, you can see people పిచ్చి పట్టింది అంటారు. అది is because God has punished him, or some దయ్యం పట్టింది, దయ్యం వచ్చి బాడీలో ఉంది. But it is a disbelief, I believe, and this is something, but it's a psychological disorder, and that needs to be addressed with controlling the neurotransmitters. But there are people still believing this punishment by God, or maybe దయ్యం పట్టింది తెలుగు చెప్పాలంటే. But that's not all true. Now it is all our responsibility to educate those people and say that now it is a problem, there should be a solution to it. So the way it is happened, natural products, because the earlier days people are searching for the food, and while searching for the eat, they are eating what is good, and doing by trial and error, they understood something will relieve pain, something will give excitement, something will give anesthesia, some treat some chronic problems. So that's how that knowledge has started. Now we see this that little knowledge from the extracts move to the isolation of the compounds, that salicylate we call it, and that is from the natural products. So now from the plant or extract, it came to the isolating a molecule, and these molecules are very effective. They have been discovered long back, but these molecules are not optimal. If you take the case of the salicylate, and it started with applying on the skin for that skin related issues, and later started with taking it internally to treat those, and find that it's causing gastric irritation. So these understood, making that chemists to start making smaller modifications of that salicylate that results into our aspirin now. And now till the understanding leads to the more use than just pain killing. Now it is more used for cardiovascular disorders, especially as an anti-aggregating agent. So morphine is a wonderful drug, it relieves pain, and no drug is found as of now which is better than morphine in terms of the relieving pain, but it has its own drawbacks and challenges while using this medication. So with that, extract started with isolated molecules. Now, not only molecule, let's make that molecule much better in terms of the various parameters. So that's where it started, that modern pharmacology. A German pharmacologist named Schimmelberg has come up with that structure-activity relationship. So make the molecule much more efficacious, much more potent by doing structural minor modifications. That's how that evolution of drug discovery has started. If you see that modern drug discovery, things have changed much more. This is what we do in industry now. And when we do, I mean, any world-class organization working in drug discovery and development. How it all starts with is start forming a research team. The team consists of all experts. So the team consists of biologists, chemists, marketing persons, clinical researchers, patent group, and whatnot. Every person is a part of this decision-making group. So the group defines what will be the objectives, and with utilizing those objectives, what strategy to be followed. So now the chemical libraries is what you buy, and whereas the other natural product libraries are available, small molecule libraries are available. Buy those libraries and then test them in high throughput screening manner. So in this high throughput screening manner, what we do, we test the compounds. So millions of compounds can be tested in a month. There's a Broad Institute in US where it's all robotic arms. So the way we do with our arms, human arms, now robotic arms have come into play, machine learning. So the machines are being taught how to work and what to add in what sequence and where to put the plate and all. So as you can see that image, that the yellow one and the second part, that is the robotic arm. So that arm helps you moving that, and everything it does automatic. So millions of compounds are screened, and what you get, that active compounds called as hits, and these hits are the ones which are show milder activity at the beginning. Then these molecules are taken by the chemist, which is the third one, where the chemists start building more analogs of that structure to make it more favorable to have a good activity profile. So these molecules are tested in vitro, and then we test it for the drug metabolism and the pharmacokinetic parameters. If the in vitro is good, the way you expect it is working, and it is available to the body in good concentrations, then you select such molecules for the in vivo testing. That is testing in animals. So when test that compound in animals, you find that it is working. Then you take such molecules to the larger development, which is called a scale-up, where the chemist initially made the compounds in the lab is sufficient for doing this in vitro and in vivo studies. But you want to do this compound testing in large quantities, especially for the toxicology studies, where you might end up doing studies in dogs or monkeys. You need more quantity of the drug. So if you need more quantity of drug, you need to make it more also. And not only that, the objective is to take this molecule to the human, and the human size is 70 kg in average. Of course, these are the American weights. So even 60 kg or 50 kg, you take it. That many kg body, you have to give the drug. So you need a large quantity. To make that large quantity drug, so the molecule is going to the process chemistry, bulk drug labs, where the quantities are made in large quantity. And that drug will go for the toxicity studies. If every profile that what is discussed is being met, then we submit all the document to the regulatory authority. In USA, you call it as an FDA, and in India, you call it's a CDSCO. The highest authority for this is DCI, Drugs Controller General of India. So if you submit the documents, all these documents, and they give an approval, test the compound in human. So until now, the discovery is about making the molecule and testing them in the animals. And what you are looking for in this test, the safety and activity, whether it is safe or not, whether it is active or not. So once you get these two answers, is safe and is active, then you say you can propose the data and show the data and defend the data before the DCGI. I have been a part of those meetings many times, and they ask very challenging questions, and you need to answer that because DCGI is responsible for the safety of the humans. Because when the molecule goes into the body, they not only relieve the pain if it is, or it may cause unwanted effects also. So the regulators are responsible for this. So that's the reason they made all these rules and regulations, and the industry has to make all the data available for them to evaluate it. So now the biggest challenge that all that will start is starting which target to work with. Target selection is the toughest challenge, because we also say that a good beginning is a half job done, and is very, very important. There are about 6,000 targets, and it is very tough to select a few targets. What is the goal? The right drug for the right disease, just like the lock and key. So you have to find the lock, or you have to find the key, which is best suitable. Then when the door opens up, is this the right drug or the right disease? How do you determine it? This is what we all need to do, all those studies which we discussed in the past. So now you see, when you invest, the typical problem that we all face is that about 6,000, these numbers keep on changing and new things will keep on, and you may be working on one project, but suddenly some new publication will come that that project is not good because so many issues, so and so issues, and some new project will come in and they say, no, that project is much more better. It is something like finding colleges while selecting the joining. So you might find many colleges are good and very tough to choose which one to join, because there are many factors involved in choosing the college. Once you're focusing on one college and start taking the feedback, some students say, no, it's very good college, join. Some definitely say it's not a very good college, don't join. So this decision is tough. So this kind of always things happen in industry, which to work, which not to work. So once you start deciding to work, and you have to commit fully, but at the same time be worried or cautious about what is happening around to work with the even the better targets. So once you identify the target, now the objective is, as you said in the beginning, high throughput screening. So you test those compounds in R screening, which is in blue box. Then you do other tests, which are called secondary tests, counter screens and all. Means it's not only working the way you want, it might do some unwanted effects. It might bind non-selective to other targets and might cause side effects. And you don't want that. So for this, all these things you test it by doing these counter screens. Then you go for that, the compounds which are showing interesting profile, you call it as a lead, and then we do the optimizations to make it even much better. If you know the structure of the protein, then use this the knowledge of molecular studies, docking studies, you call it, and use that how this molecule is interacting with a specific target. Understanding that knowledge, you apply and make even compounds which fit much better to this target in the desired way and produces a better potency. So then you test this, then go for the additional toxic studies. We mentioned just now, the toxicity profile is good, and the potency is good, and safety is good. Then you take it for the development. So in the development, preclinical development, these are the toxicity studies. Hope all of you are seeing my slides is moving now. Is it fine? Everything is good so far? I'm just cross-checking.
Good, sir.
Yeah, okay. So these are the toxic studies where you start with a single ascending dose. Means you take a dose, increase the dose in different animals and find the animals are safe or not. Then you also go for the chronic studies, same dose. Once you select a dose from that study, repeatedly giving and testing whether this compound is safe or not. Additionally, broadly, we see is the safety of the major organs, like what this compound is doing on the brain, what is doing on the lungs, what is doing on the heart. These are the some studies. And you don't want compound to be genotoxic, means that they are likely to cause mutagenesis or mutations or carcinogens, you call it, and that might lead to cancers. So we don't want molecule to be there. So with this in our mind, these studies are done in a regulatory toxicology, we call it, and these are the guidelines which one need to follow all the rules and regulations, and documentation is very, very, very important. So these studies should be done under GLP compliant lab. All that pharmacology that we discussed so far can be done in non-GLP. Even you can do it in a college, there's no issue, as long as you're maintaining the documents well. And documentation is something I think the students are very pure at it. In industry, it is not acceptable. And I'm sure students hate in writing these practicals, especially the lab practicals. But I tell you, that is where you make a difference. That is very, very important. Write the practical, don't copy it, and write it as diligently as possible. That's practical knowledge you get in. So in industry, this is very, very important. Documentation. Anything, everything you do it, you document it. And there are protocols for that. So once you do all this, now you see how many games we are playing at that time. So it's like a juggling of various parameters. You want your molecule to be very potent. You want your molecule to be very safe. You want your molecule to be easy to make formulation. You want your molecule to be highly selective, specific, and no one has patented it. And you have space for patenting that molecule. There's so many criteria. And even if one thing you miss, and it is something like missing in life, you have a wonderful, perfect human body, and one leg is not there, or your eye is not working, or your one chamber of your heart is not working, not working well. That's a drawback, and the human life, the whole life is get compromised. Same is the case in drug discovery, and the molecule that we try to develop should meet all good characteristics. There should not be any one minor drawback. Because if say AUC, area under the curve, in terms of pharmacokinetics, it is the rate and extent of absorption, we call it. If that is poor, then it doesn't work at all. Okay, and now you are wasting the drug. So for example, AUC is only that the bioavailability is only 10%. It means 90% is not useful. It's going out of the body. It's not getting into where it needs to go. So you are wasting the money, right? So that way, every parameter is important. Like that in human body, everything is important in life. You want a good education, you want a good quality house, you want a good house, and you want all luxuries, and you want a good mobile. You need everything. Same is the case in drug discovery. Industry managers will ask you, I want a good molecule. It should be easy to formulate. I should be able to market it. I should get a lot of profit. Everything is demanded in industry, and you need to make it in such a way. It's very highly challenging, very complex, but at the same time, it's very, 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 very interesting. So I think some of you, by listening this today's lecture, will take up this job. So now once you generate this, that chemistry data, pharmacokinetic data, and toxicology data, so the very next step is what? So very next step is what? Generate the clinical trial protocol design. So what you want to do in humans. So why you do all this toxicology study? By doing the toxicology, you understood that what this molecule is likely to do. For example, if this molecule is causing liver toxicity. So when you do the study in a clinical trial protocol design, what you do is you keep the experts who are experts in handling that liver toxicity if it is seen in humans. Because in animals it showed toxicity to the liver, so there is a potential that it might do the human. So in the expert panel, you keep a specialist who can handle that situation. Say if there is a problem with heart in animal studies, then you keep a cardiologist, the part of that team, the clinical development team. That's the reason all the toxic studies have been laid down by the regulatory body. So safety is the prime criteria when the molecule is being seen by the human body for the first time. So for all this data, you get it and you compile it and submit to the DCGI in India or FDA in US, and they'll look at the documents. If they feel it is safe, they don't worry whether it's going to work or not. Please remember, the worry is it is safe or not. If it is not going to work, it's a loss to the company or to people who are doing it. But if it is toxic to the human, and now that immediately the prime minister or the president of the country will call that agency, said what you are doing. So that is the goal in doing this. That is the reason all this battery of tests have been laid down. So this completes the part of the discovery part. Now we are going to the development. And as you see on the left part is IND application. That is investigation new drug application. This is the application. Authority will give you permission to start human study. The human studies that we do, we call it as the drug development from that step onwards. There are 4 stages or 4 phases. We call it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. And after do phase 3, and you can submit another document and call it as NDA, new drug application. So when you submit this new drug application, this application is for you to get marketing authorization. It means by doing this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 studies, you are showing to the authority that your molecule is safe and effective. It is safe and effective. Since it is effective, it might be useful. So you are asking the government authority to give permission to start manufacturing in large quantities and start using or treating the patients. So that is called NDA. So there is a review process in between. If the authority feels it is good, they will approve it. Otherwise, they may say they won't approve it. So that is about drug development. And you might be seeing in news that many drugs are being withdrawn from the market. So though the market compound got approved, it doesn't mean it is there. It will be there in the market. At any time, if there is any issue is found with the molecule, it can be withdrawn from the market. So these are certain initial studies by requirement by the authority. Companies has to do some phase 4 studies, and in some cases, companies wants to sell it more, and for publication reasons, they do generate the phase 4 data, and you call it as also as post-marketing surveillance studies. So during marketing, because this is the time where the actual population is being exposed to the molecule, all the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 studies, if you see the protocol, it's well defined where there's an inclusion and exclusion criteria. This is a very restricted population. But when it comes to the reality, when it gets approved, and we have a variety of people with various background, various food habits, various genetic background, and the drug molecules do behave very, very differently from one person to the other. And it might lead to some unwanted effects. If anything is seen, and it is the responsibility of the company or the hospital which is using it, may pass on that information to the authority. And looking at it, that scientific validity of the data, they may say this molecule is not worth to be in the market. They may ask to remove from the market. So having completed drug discovery, so now we are going and discussing in detail about drug development. So what the questions that we are going to answer in this? Okay, so what the body is doing to the drug. This is what is pharmacokinetics, and then is pharmacodynamics. So this is pharmacodynamics. So then is what happens to the drug in the body. That's pharmacokinetics. Then is the drug really effective? Is the drug really safe? And if so, what dosage regimen? What doses or what regimen that needs to be given to the patients? It is what questions that one need to answer in these phase 1 to 3 studies. So it comes to that the pharmacodynamics. So the major thing that is required is what is the unmet need. So industry when start working in it, so what they look at is which one they can make a product which they can sell it. So you can sell the product only when it is doing which is not done by the existing products. Your product is much better than what is there in the market. So that is an unmet need. And your product obviously has to be very safe and effective. The molecule that you make has to be safe and effective. Or it is more effective than what is in the market, we can sell it. It's equally effective, but it's more safe. Again, you are able to sell it. So these are the differentiations, or unique selling points, you call it in marketing terms. The molecule has to profile. It is the same way in colleges also it applies. It applies everywhere in every business, and that every company, or you take any product, any say the mobiles. So iPhone as a brand. So we have Oppo, well known for camera, right? iPhone have for the quality in every aspect. So these are the selling points. So that way your molecule has to be better than what is existing today. Or if there's no drug at all, then you make a drug for that indication, then it's a wonderful drug. Now take the example of COVID. Now the whole world is looking for the drug which is safe and effective, and there are no treatment as of now. Only remdesivir is there. That's also, remember, it's not approved. It is given a permission to use on an emergency basis, because now there is an emergency. There's nothing is available. Every company all over the world is doing their bid service, but there's no hope as of now. So now what is the unmet need? COVID-19. COVID-19, what is unmet? There's no treatment. So if a company is looking after drug discovery and development, so start thinking how to discover a drug and develop. And at this point, discovery and development takes a lot of time and a lot of money, and we can't wait to do that. So what the companies are doing is whatever already is there in the market or what has been tested before and what is known a lot about those molecules, and these molecules are tested against COVID-19 because it's the faster way. The term that we use is repurposing of drugs. These are the existing drugs already in the market, are being used are being tested in the humans, and you want to see whether they work for COVID or not. If they work for COVID, yes, then they can submit to the FDA and an NDA as an NDA to the FDA, and they might give an authorization to sell it. So if you imagine a situation now, and we have about 8 billion people, and 200 countries are suffering with COVID, and there is no treatment. And if you find a drug for the COVID, and how much money the company can make, unimaginable. And that's the reason every company is fighting to find a better drug. But viruses are much more intelligent, and it's not easy to find a drug which works for the virus and which is safe. And that is one unmet need. So now remdesivir is one thing. It is developed for hepatitis C about 10 years back, and it was tested recently in Ebola about 2 years back, and it didn't work. And both are viruses. Ebola is a virus, and it's actually made for that, and it is not working there. But what that blessing is in that study is, though it is not working against Ebola, but the learning is the humans are safe. So since it's a safe drug, so now can we test this compound in COVID? And it's also an antiviral, and COVID is also a virus, and like in Ebola. So now can you test that against COVID? And initial trials were done in vitro, and it is shown active. And studies were done in monkeys, where monkeys were injected with COVID-19, and the mice showed the SARS symptoms and give this drug and saw that this molecule is safe to the monkeys, and the viral load decreased significantly 14 hours after giving this dose. So what the learning the message is, yes, this is safe to the monkeys, and it is working in vitro against this virus, the COVID-19, and it is safe in humans because it was tested at phase 3 in Ebola infected subjects. And so in hepatitis C also, it went much ahead, but didn't show any activity. And it's not an approved drug for any indication. So now that compound is taken. So this is how, this is like, మనం పాత సామాన్ ఇంట్లో ఉంటే బయట తీసి మళ్ళీ రీయూజ్ చేస్తున్నట్టు. So the same, our knowledge is also helpful same way, and you don't think that whatever you study, the gain knowledge is not useful for the exam. Don't study only for exam purpose. Study for the knowledge sake. Who knows which knowledge helps when and where. So now to the kinetics. So kinetics is what? The goal. You have to find the right drug to the right patient, to the right dose at the right time. So if you give it at the wrong time, then it doesn't work. And then you can give any number of examples. There are certain drugs you should take before lunch. Certain drugs you should take during lunch. Certain drugs you need to take post lunch. So that's the time and the dose. I should not take high dose. Or if you take low dose, it doesn't work at all. If you take high dose, it might lead to toxicity. And the right patient, if you give the drug to, there are certain drugs, certain should not be given to some patients. Some liver compromised patients. Certain drugs should not be given. Kidney compromised patients. The drug is eliminated to kidney, and you are giving a molecule to such kidney compromised patients, then kinetics will have alter. There are so many conditions. So kinetics is the ultimate goal in doing this is finding the right drug for the right patient at the right dose at the right time. Now coming to the second, remdesivir. So let's see what is known. If you take remdesivir, I am again telling you this is not the drug for COVID. This is a drug, and it is approved on an emergency use purpose only. Because as of now, this is one thing is working, and we'll talk more about this remdesivir at the later stage. This we are treating as a case example. So patients in this case is confirmed COVID-19 subjects with hospitalized with the severe disease. So anybody who got just COVID, no, it is not drug approved for them. It is only approved if the disease severity is high, who are in need of oxygen supply. So it's categorized into 8 levels. 8th level is the death, and the 0 level is just infected person, but not showing symptoms. And the 7th level, the lungs get compromised significantly, that mechanical ventilator 24 hours a day for the subject to survive. And then level 6 is you give a face mask where you apply the oxygen supply. It's not by mechanical ventilation as and when required. So that's how different categories were made. And this drug is for the patients who are in need of oxygen supply. Okay, just showing symptoms of cough and high temperature. No, this drug is not for them, because it didn't show beneficial effects in that trial. So now it is approved with the condition that the right patient for this drug, which is think as of now, but these things may change in time. Hopefully, let's not expect that to happen, but it may happen, because all the basic and preliminary trial data only it is approved. That full data of the study is not yet completed, not yet reported. So now the right dose for this is 200 mg IV. It's a loading dose followed by the maintenance dose. I think all of you study the kinetics. And I love to talk a subject, but with restriction of time, we're not going to those details. So as a loading dose, to get the faster concentrations to reach steady state much faster, we are giving a loading dose and followed by the maintained dose. What is the right time? The way it is approved is approved for 5 days of treatment. If it doesn't, patient doesn't respond, then extend the period to another 5 days. So it is day 1 to day 10 only. You can't give this drug more than 10 days. And you can give, but under supervision otherwise. But the time that is dictated as by the approval is by label is day 1 to day 10. You can do off-label treatment, that's a different story. So now you understood that what is drug discovery, what are different developments, what are different stages. But let's understand a little bit more on the stages. So the stage 1, we call it phase 1, where it's human pharmacology, where you just look at the safety of the pharmacokinetics. And the phase 2, we call it therapeutic exploratory studies, where you're exploring whether drug works for the COVID-19 subjects or not. And the phase 3 is a therapeutic confirmatory studies, where you are confirming, are you doing tests in large number of samples and sufficient duration, and showing that, and with statistical power, with sufficient sample size, that yes, it is safe and it is effective. If this data is met, then you submit to the regulatory authority, and they may approve for the therapeutic use. Then that is phase 4. I hope now we understood what questions will be answered in by doing phase 1 to phase 3, and what questions will lead to what you get information. So in the phase 1, as I mentioned, let's not go into the details in the interest of the time, but just the basic message. It's the first time that the drug is seeing the human body, and the objective is to see safe or not, and what the kinetics of the molecule is. So kinetics means once you go into the body, what is the absorption, what is the metabolism, what is the distribution, what is elimination. In humans, you don't do calculations of distribution. It's difficult. In animals, you do it. You can easily sacrifice the animal and take out the tissues and extract it and quantify the drug. But humans, you can't do that. So the D is kept in bracket for that reasons. If somebody is speaking about it, so I just want to answer that. And these drugs are not safe for all subjects, as mentioned before. So you need to have special populations, the renal compromise, hepatic compromise, pediatric subjects with age, gender, various classifications. All this is done at this stage, and see that whether dose adjustments are required, if required, what doses and all. Then drug-drug interactions, most of the complicated disorders we face, or chronic disorders we face, don't work by single agent. Even COVID-19, remdesivir, the response are very poor. Now people are doing combination studies. So when you do combinations, there's a possibility of drug-drug interactions. I think all of you are preparing for CPAT or doing MPharm now. Remember various drug-drug interaction mechanisms. So we'll not go into those scientific details, but these studies are also done at this stage for the human studies, which is phase 1. Now coming to the phase 2, this is, we call it as exploratory studies. We are trying to explore whether drug is effective or not. Means we want to understand what is the optimal dose, because we don't want to give very high dose, or we don't want to give very low dose. If you start giving low doses, the person may be responding, but it might take a long time to treat the subject. If you give very high dose, the person may be responding, but it might lead to more toxicity. It might lead to more toxicity, right? So if it is, if that is what is happening, and we have to be very, very careful. So that's the reason, because the phase 3 study is usually done in thousands of subjects, depending with the disease. The disease number size depends with the variation that you see in response, or variation in the disease condition. So basing on that, the sample size will be kept. In cancers, phase 3 or phase 2 studies numbers may be limited. But diseases like diabetes, the number, or obesity, the number of subjects can go up to 2,000 of subjects. So because you're going to do in few thousands in multiple countries at multiple sites, and with a different the value of the currency, and you can imagine the amount of money that needs to be spent in doing phase 3. So you don't want to fail at that stage. That is the reason these stages were kept. The stage 1 or phase 1 is looking at the safety, and the phase 2 is mere looking at whether this drug is safe now at the safe doses, whether the drug is effective or not. So the objective is to find the right dose, and it should not be very low and it should not be very high. And the reasons were discussed. So now in phase 3, yes, now you need to do in a large sample, and you have proper statistical power and see that it is safe and it is efficacious. So once you generate this data, you submit to the health authorities, as I mentioned, FDA, RDCJ, EMA, in case of. So now you see this is the procedures. You generate a lot of data and submit to the regulatory body. There are two committees there, advisory committee and regulatory review committee. The advisory committee will have all the experts, even social welfare people also be sitting in that meeting. The beauty in the FDA, yes, is this advisory meeting. Every word talked by each person is recorded, and it is put it in the FDA website. So in that meeting, what has been discussed? Who has said yes to the molecule to approve? Who said no to the molecule to approve? And what basis he said no, or on what basis somebody said yes? Thus, the document is kept open to the public. And now that public can see the competing companies, especially the competing companies will look at it and say that no, you said this is good, but this is not true. And this is having this many problems. You can generate and you can discuss, you can fight and share that information, or scientific debate, you call it, can be done. And those documents will be seen this by regulatory review committee. And that review committee is the authority. That is the final authority. Advisory committee only advises. It's like advisors to various colleges. Like a director for a college, you can advise, right? But the principal is the one who actually do what is the best thing to do for the students in the college. It's very easy to advise, right? But the right advice is most important. You need the right person to do the right job. So now is this a regulatory review team, and now they review it and look at it and they see value of it. And the pressures that they have. In fact, remdesivir's approval, people believe, is partly because US wants to show their their dominance. They show that yes, we can do it. And in fact, that drug is being patented by China also. It's being tested in Chinese populations. They do have the rights. So if don't, let's not go to those conspiracies. And the conspiracies are very big. And these are the ones which I'm telling to all of very excited. It's much more than the Bahubali movie. Because the people believe that these authorities are now doing by purpose. The approval is not just 1 minute. Easy one. And I'll keep the battery. 1 minute. Sorry for this.
Kumar sir.
Yeah. Now it's clear.
Yeah, yes sir. Can you make us as a host?
Yeah, now it's okay. Should continue.
You can continue, but make us as a host, please.
Yeah, you again maybe some disturbance will come. Okay. Okay, I have to go to the participants, and I'll go to the Coringa. Make host. Yeah, it is done.
Okay, sir. Carry on, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. So if there is any problem, just interrupt me. If there is any issue with the moving of the slides or the YouTube. Okay. So then they review it and they approve it. If they approve it, yes, you can go and market it. Now come back to this virus. Okay, so now what is being done? Now the case study. So this is the remdesivir. This is the publication which they published. And what the data, the trial that they did is phase 3. As you can see on the blue line, it's a phase 3 study. It's a randomized study. And it's a double blind. It's a placebo controlled study. So what does this randomization? It's one of the statistical technique of removing the bias. Here, every subject that recruited in the study will be given an equal opportunity to be part of a group of remdesivir treatment or a placebo treatment. Then it is called a randomized study. This is a 1:1 randomization. It means one subject gets remdesivir and other subjects will get control, other placebo. And there are very interesting facts. Let's not go into details of this detail. This is a New England Journal of Medicine. And we being in industry, we go through each and every publication. And I am following it up. And in fact, we are writing a review on this, which will be soon in public. So this trial is a phase 3 and it's double blind. What is double blind? Double blind means here, neither the patient nor the doctor knows which treatment is given to the patient. The treatment of remdesivir or treatment of placebo. That is double blind. What is placebo control? So here you can compare the effect of remdesivir versus a placebo. Placebo is just like an excipient without drug. Whole formulation with it looks exactly the same, but it doesn't have the drug. So then you can compare side by side. Within hospital, some people are given the drug, some people are taking placebo. You can compare. If there is no control, then it's very difficult to conclude, because from the hospital to hospital, from country to country, and the backgrounds are different. There are any number of variables, which makes this study very, very complicated. And most of the trials that you see in the literature don't have these proper controls. There's no proper statistics applied. So all the data that we see is really should not be done as per the scientific view, at least like the way we see it, because all this is wasting of money and time. But many people are doing for sake of curiosity and do something because there is desperation there in the community. And some people want to become popular also. So they are just trying without any logic rational their compound. Because if by chance, if it works, you become a multi-billionaire. And you don't need to do a simple trial and show that it is working very good, and show to the public, and probably your US President Trump may come and invite you and take that molecule and develop it much faster. Always big companies do that, big strategies, and we are small fish in this big game, and big in the sea also, always big fish wins. I think that's the competition. That's the strength. So the same true for even in industry jobs also. And that's why I'm being in industry. I keep on telling industry. It is highly paid, highly rewarding. And I show you then what the industry is, how it looks, why you should all aim for it. So now, they did this phase 3 trial, and it's a wonderful trial, and it's one of the best trials. You can see among all the data, there's a lot of data on chloroquine, then hydroxychloroquine, and US Trump has pleaded Indian government to support, and India is already committed by that time, because the US is late in requesting, and India is the leader in making the chloroquine tablets. An unfortunate thing that the leader of this company is Cipla, and that company has made this on the request of the government. Some millions of tablets were made and given to several countries. Since the Trump asked the Indian government much late, and the Indian government said already our orders are done and we can't produce. And he was unhappy, and he said that because the people are now, US people are now, there's an internal lot of pressure on them, and they desperately want some medication, and India is rejecting it. And he was unhappy, and he wants to put some sanctions on the Indian government. Later, somehow, there's a big game, there are big people, big country, lot of money, and the Indian government did some arrangements to give that medication. And then they said a lot of thank you. And the unfortunate thing is the company was making that, and few of the employees died because of COVID. This is the game which then pharma is facing challenge now. So now this drug is, and there are a few companies also infected because the raw materials come from China, and the whole company is closed, and all the employees were in the locked for 14 days in the company. And what more excitement movie you can see than this COVID? Where is Bahubali in this big game? Nothing. So watch that YouTube which I may show to all of you. So now this drug is being given to the FDA, and the FDA has seen it, And they thought that this is the best that we can do. Having that in mind, they're given this emergency use authorization. It is not an approval for marketing. Please note that. This is an approval to use it. And this is very preliminary data. And because there's nothing is there, let's do something better than nothing. So with that in view, and there's a lot of pressure on the US government, and this is supported by the US government study. It's the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. And the same study was done, the same drug in China and supported by the Chinese government. And the same data was published on the same day where this study was published. And then in that study, this drug did not show any benefits. But in the US study, this was shown to be active and it's approved. So this is which can be debated in scientific way in many ways. Let's not go into those details because the people are at the early stage of career, and I want to appreciate that these kind of differences do exist among the scientific community. Now is the post-marketing. So you go and see the CFR and all those studies. So now you see that how much time it takes, how long it takes. So you just add these minimum numbers on the top. It's about 12 years. And how much money it costs, you see at the right side bottom, $2,558 million. So that comes to the Indian currencies approximately 20,000 crores. So what it costs to develop a drug into the market, it costs $20,000. 20,000 crores in rupees. 20,000 crores. Just remember this number. And how many molecules? You need to test 10,000 of compounds and 250 of animals. After that, one drug comes to the market. And if you're lucky. And how much period is 12 years. And how much money you get? Don't ask me, it is too much. Whatever that 2.5 billion, which is spent on that period for about 12 years, the company gets it in less than 1 year. There are drugs in the market which generates profits per year more than 5 billion. Just in 1 year of selling it. There are many drugs. We call blockbuster drugs, which gives market more than 1 billion. There are many, many, many blockbuster drugs. So companies do get back. That's the reason companies do spend money and doing this high kind this. Now you can imagine why you should get highly paid also, right? So I think somebody's raised their hand. We'll answer it at the end because the session should close because there's many aspects probably be answered in the next slides. So this is the reason you paid very high. The salaries are very, very high and the standards are very, very high. You see those buildings. I'll show you those buildings in India which are doing this kind of work. So I think you students should now get excited with the opportunities that is present to all of you. This is what I'm going to show you now. So you all understood what is discovery. You all understood what is development. And you have seen a case study, example of remdesivir, which is the drug. This is the latest plan we say, and seems to be working beautifully. But now what is to you? What is to each participant in this meeting? So where do you fit in? Now, biggest challenge that BPharm students will face is what specialization should I take after BPharm? And after BPharm also, I see the students come and ask me, sir, what job should I get in? I should join quality control or quality assurance? I should join regulatory affairs? I should join patents? I should I take formulations? And I have been in industry for 20 years. I'm in recruiting. I am a campus interviews. I've been to many NIPERs. I've been to many top institutes in India is interviewing. So I have interviewed many good number of students. And I'll tell you as an expert in interviewing the students, selecting the candidates for the job. What is we see is your confidence, your clarity, your commitment, and your excitement towards the work, not what the specializations you do. I'm a trained pharmacologist and I hired pharmaceutics people in my lab. I hired people from the pharmacognosy also. I hired people from analysis for doing pharmacology job. Remember, anybody can do any job. What we need is the confidence. Yes, I can do it. I want to do it. I'm excited about it. These are the qualities. So don't worry which specialization you take or which kind of group you fit into. But what you need to say is the quality. That's the where I started my quote. I will also end with that quality, what the quality means, how you should dream, and how you should make it that reality. I hope my point is well taken by all of you. So now if you like, so what you need to do is you need to find where do you fit the most and the skills that you have, and you can sell it. And then the companies will hire you and they pay you very, very high salaries. And salaries are much more higher than IT. I'll tell you, the senior position salaries of a pharma guy and much is equivalent or better than IT guys. Many cases, I can see any number of examples. So that medicinal chemist, pharmacologist, pharmaceutical analysis, regulatory affairs, you take anything, but become expert, become number one, high quality. It should be like making a movie like Bahubali. The movie is closer to it. You can't compare it. The budget or the quality or the commitment, nothing can be compared to that movie. All the medals have come to that movie. Even Chinese have appreciated that movie. So this is how we should develop the qualities. We should, by looking at you, people say, yes, this is the guy who can do anything. And in terms of the confidence, and there's a clarity, and there's a commitment, yes, this is the person. That's what you people should develop during this process, not the subject. Subject is there, everybody will have, everybody is passing. Pass marks is different and knowledge is different. You should focus on the knowledge. Of course, marks also, because there are also some benchmarks. So these are the various specializations. You find anything and you just move it there. There are some more terms which is new to the industry. I'll add, because FR&D is very common, formulation, research and development. And this is there in drug discovery and development also, because somebody has to make a formulation, which you see in the drug discovery first line. And ARD, analytical research and development, everywhere where analysis is there. Without analysis, there's no nothing. Too much analysis, people say it's analysis. That's also true. But analysis is there everywhere. When you make a formulation, you test that analysis. Formulation is having right strength or not. When you do the kinetics, pharmacology study, and the drug is in what concentrations, you need analysis. When you make a standard curve, any assay, it's also analysis. And that's why analysis, there are good number of jobs. But what you need to see, whether you're good at analyzing, otherwise don't take it, not because there are jobs. Don't be after the jobs. You create your own job. That's the norm now. Then the chemistry, as now you see there's a bit low now, but it is going to be boom. Always you need to select a job, profession where there is a less supply. Now the supply in the chemistry is less. And I'm going to tell you the demand is going to be very high for them. If you truly love chemistry, this is the time to be in chemistry. And I'll show you why and also. Because many people are somehow scared of chemistry, scared of pharmacology, because pharmacology is very dry subject. Very interesting, and don't like to do experiments. It's very difficult to remember. But I love that subject. I'm a pharmacologist, by the way. So anything you take, and there are additional terms, which is called regulatory affairs. And very nice jobs. You can see in a computer and both under AC rooms. And very nice. Every job is good. Only you need to see whether you are good in doing that job. That's what we see in industry. Not the job. Every job is important. Like in human body, every part is important. Are you ready to sacrifice your eyes? Are you ready to sacrifice your ears? No. You want everything to do perfect. Right? Same is the case in industry. So now the new trend, which I should say, is the data science. Now, those who have in engineering and you felt that I should have become a computer scientist, and this is the opportunity to take that data science. Data science is in every field, and pharma field is a lot of value now, and take that opportunity. And those who are the PharmD students, I don't know how many of you are from PharmD here, is the time to be in clinical research. More the PharmD students can do. I also do teach the PharmD, and I started liking that course more than the before, because being a pharmacologist, I can relate to my work much better there. So then is that medical writing, and these are low kind jobs. Don't take that kind of jobs. I'm seeing many students are getting into that. Do it, but There are better jobs that you can do as a professional course. You just need 3 months of training with BSc, person can do that job. So why do you waste your 4 years or 6 years of training, a professional course, into doing that simple jobs? 6 years is wasted just because 3 months of training can do that. Person can do that job. Of course, 6 years or 4 is trained person much better, but you have much better opportunities than that. And pharmacovigilance is. I think this is something which makes you distinction. Subject everybody have. That's not a great thing, but what we see in industry is more than that, not just subject. What we see is, as I said, commitment, clarity, confidence, and the additional parameters: accuracy, integrity. Integrity is something is very, very valuable. Integrity means, have you done the homework? Have you written your own way that lab record? People say, a student will say, when you see that, same thing is written in someone else's record also. So whether he copied from you or that person copied, you don't know. There you lose that integrity. Don't lose that integrity. Be committed, be integrated. And what you say, be honest. If you're not done, you're not done. It's okay. Once or twice, you miss certain things. Then is the financial acumen, and I think money matters everywhere. You should know how to use the money, how to spend the money, where to save, where to spend. I think as students, I think this is something is not being taught, and all these skills are not being taught. I think the skills needs to be developed by the students, and in good colleges, you get that environment, and we are trying our best at SVCP, developing these skills in the students. So multitasking and prioritizing, mentoring, and these are all we do it. That these skills, please keep it in mind. So You Can Win is one book I think all of us should read by Shiv Khera. So what this other clearly says, that which I also personally felt and experienced, is that your success and fulfilling, or successful fulfilling career, 85% of the time it is because of your attitude, 15% because of intelligence and knowledge. I don't believe in intelligence. Okay, I don't believe in it. I believe in only hard work. No matter if somebody say A is much more intelligent than me, let's say 10 times more, I might do 15 times or 20 times more hard work to meet or beat that intelligent guy. Then I'm equal. Okay, so that's I compensated. So what is the attitude? I want to beat him. I want to be the number one. That's the attitude. That's what you people should implement during your college days. If you have this is what will make you a different person. This is what will make you to enter into these companies. So I selected very few. I'm not biased. I'm just telling my customer statement. And you see, each building is wonderful buildings. I'm sure every one of you will be excited to get into this building. If you get into this building, I'll tell you, you will be more than happy to become an engineer and more than happy to become a doctor. Being into this building as a pharmacist. Those who have missed that, I missed something in my life because I didn't get medicine. I'm sure if you are lucky and if you have all the right knowledge, if you get into any of these buildings, you don't feel that you missed something in life. You see, each building is wonderful buildings. And our first two buildings, that Biocon Research Center and St. International, this is in Bangalore. And total is more than 10,000 employees working on research. More than 10,000 employees. Just note down these numbers. It's a good number. It's St. International doing a contract research and paid very good salaries. In one big complex, there's one small building that you're seeing in this building. There are several buildings behind that building. And I've been to that building many times. It's a beautiful campus. And they pay very good salaries. Especially the more you work in industry, the longer you can stay, the better the salaries that you get. And then you see that Novartis building. I think many might have seen. If you're not seen it, go to Hyderabad, go and see that building. There are about 6,000 employees working in the drug development. 6,000 employees working on drug development, which you have seen phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 studies. They basically sit with the computers and do the data analysis. They don't do any wet lab job. They don't handle the patients. They handle the data of the patients. It's a wonderful job. They pay very good salaries, wonderful facilities. If you see the canteen, I'm sure it's better than a 5-star. You love to go there. Okay. And coming to this Lupin Research Park, where I worked for 6-7 years. It's a wonderful building. It's a beautiful campus, excellent food, and excellent HR policies. Very high salaries. You can't compare in academics. These are fractions. So I hope there are about 1,500 scientists working in that building, in that campus. And coming to the Zydus Research Center, yes, there's a good number doing research. These are just few, but there are many which is coming up, which we all should be excited. Now see what has happened because of the COVID, which I said COVID coming is a blessing in disguise. Now see what's the blessing. Now everybody realized that US and India relied so much on China in getting the bulk drugs. Now suddenly China is in trouble and we are in trouble and we can't get the products and we are not able to make formulations, and the US is affected, India is affected. And Indian market is affected, Indian business is affected, Indian pharma is affected. Now government has realized. And many countries are unhappy with China. Now they stopped business. They want to come out of the China. Now Japan has declared that any company wants to come back to China and they're going to give so many benefits. So they don't want a Japanese person running a Japanese business in China. They are welcoming back to Japan. Now is in India also, because that's the trend, and even European Union, okay, decided and declared that they want their people to come back in their own countries and start doing business. Same is true with US. US decided, and they want to do war also. Now I hope let's not expect that war to happen. And indirectly, it's a financial war, in other words. So they are now stopping the business, and they want to find alternative. So if the alternative for China is India, India is already doing an excellent job in pharma industry in terms of innovation, in terms of producing cheap drugs, and many companies are looking forward. And Indian government has realized it, and they have come up with a plan to produce the land area, which is twice the size of the Luxembourg. So if you know what is Luxembourg, Luxembourg is one of the capital of the European Union. There are 4 capitals, is one capital, almost 2,500 square kilometer area. So twice that area, the size is what India is now opening it for the international players to come and start doing business in India. Means the Indian international companies can come to India and start doing business in pharma field, or producing, making bulk drug, or doing research, what all the companies that we discussed. Apart from that, to start the bulk business, Indian government has already released 12,000 crores. 12,000 crores to work on bulk drugs, because the bulk drug is large quantity. When then you make the formulation, that formulation you put it into as a generic into the US market. That's how the business goes on. Because bulk drugs we are buying from China, now we don't want to buy from China, and now India's government is supporting the Indian pharma industry by spending that much money. That's huge money. Now you see how much demand is for chemistry. Okay, that's why always there will be ups and downs in any business. But you should do the business when you are at down, not at when you want to buy a house, you buy when it is cheap, not when it is costly, right? Same is the logic here. One more good news. I think I don't know how many of you really know it. This is what I'm telling the day one, that we as pharmacy people are not aware. We watch all the movies and we remember all the past 5 years history, and we also know what movies are going to be released, but we don't know about what pharma companies are doing, what is happening. Now we see in Hyderabad Pharmacist is coming. What are the 6 buildings you have seen before? Better than those buildings are about to come in this pharmacy. And we have a very dynamic leader at KTR, is industrial ministry. And is very capable, very dynamic, and he is a graduate of biotech. So he has he has knowledge, and he knows the importance of pharma field. He's an excellent director, an excellent knowledge in biotechnology too. He's very fluent in talking pharma terms, unlike other politicians. He realized it, and now he's convinced, and this is in news from past several years, that Hyderabad Pharmacist is going to be established. Now in January 2nd, 2020, our central government has cleared that environment clearances have been given. Now you see that the bottom picture, the gates are already open. Now roads are made, infrastructure is being developed. 12,000 acres is being planned for this city. And according to KTR, 64,000 crores is what the investment is expected in this area. And the number of jobs are about 5.6 lakhs. Imagine if there are 5.6 lakhs, let's assume 10% of it. Even if you get 50,000 jobs, okay, and the expenditure of 6,000 crores, okay, the demand will go very high. So there's a boom is going to be expected, and that too in our own place in Hyderabad. So it's very, very good news to all the pharma, especially this 21st century. So this is going to be established in a few years. So I think some of those are just B-Farm, by completing M-Farm, I think this city will be in place. At least it start developing. There are already about 1,200 companies is waiting and getting approval. So they start building it, and it helps in the bulk drugs, it helps in formulation, it helps in discovery, it helps in development. Once everything is in place, even big companies will start coming doing research, advanced research. So this is the beauty. I hope all of you are now start dreaming about a job in pharma industry. It's highly paid. Now, having said that, being in industry, I should also tell you a few the challenges as well as the opportunities. So industry jobs are highly demanding, highly rewarding. They pay you the amount you ask as long as you are able to deliver it. But industry jobs are hire and fire, the fast pace. They hire you today and they may fire you tomorrow if not tomorrow. It's not like academics. Here we may reduce the marks, but here there's nothing like reducing marks or reducing the salary. They'll ask you to leave the organization tomorrow, at same day, at same minute. So as students, as pharmacists, I should tell you that you should develop that integrity, those acumen skills, that financial skills, apart from your domain knowledge, the field that you selected. And with this, all this knowledge, and if you get into any of these buildings, any of these big pharma companies, I'm sure you are a proud pharmacist. So with this, I start telling you to dream and start being a high quality pharmacist. If you want to be high quality, you need to develop sincerity, commitment, and proper execution skills. So now with this, I end up with giving two quotes. So I think I made a good picture of what is happening in research and what the opportunities are. So you start dreaming. So what is Dream by Abdul Kalam and Abdul Kalam? I'm supposed to get the degree from his hands. That time I was in Canada, so I cannot come for just taking the degree. I didn't come. Otherwise, my PhD degree should be taken from his hands. So that's I love him, and he's a great scientist, and he's a great philosopher, and great human being. So now what he says is, dream is not what you see in sleep, is the thing which does not let you sleep. I think this is, if you keep this in mind, so you dream of a good job, a great job, you want to discover some medicine, or you want a great thing, I want to earn money. What you need to do, not just keep that in mind, put it in action. So once you make a dream, you are supposed to do what you should, is what Mahatma Gandhi said. Again, another favorite quote. You should believe that, yes, I can meet it. So I can reach it. So how do you do that? Make your beliefs as your thoughts, and your thoughts become your words, and your words should become your actions. Your actions should become your habits. So when your habits become your values, then you will reach your destiny. With this, I wish all the best, and thank you all for patiently listening to me. And once again, thank Fanny and others of management for giving this opportunity. I hope this is interesting and useful. Please give your feedback so that we'll refine doing a better job in the future talks. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar V.S. Namani garu, for your informative session. Keenly explained every point on the opted topic. But end of the talk, queries to be present definitely. Hence, I request participants to clarify their doubts with Dr. Kumar garu. Any questions? If you raise your hand, I will allow you. Please, any queries? Participants? Any queries? You can speak out. If you have any query, you can speak out.
So I told you, students, dear students, what
Sir,
is important is to ask
sir, some
questions.
person,
Yeah, this
some,
Praveen is asking. Yes,
yes.
yes, Praveen, please ask me.
Praveen,
Hello?
you can ask.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Praveen.
Sir, I'm having a small doubt, sir. So, sir, for the therapy of COVID-19,
Please speak out.
plasma therapy and hello,
Yeah,
hello,
Yeah, I'm listening. Yes, yes, continue.
hello. Yes, sir. Which one is having a better advantages, sir, when you comparing with plasma therapy and immunoglobulin therapy?
Right. So these are the two. So when the patient is infected, so what is expected is antibodies to be raised against that COVID. So if you take that patient sample and give it to the other subject, so because antibodies are there, so they are going to take care of that virus. That's the thought with this plasma therapy is being planned. So there are studies going on as of now, but it is not yet clear what type the antibodies are raised or not. There will be, but which antibodies are produced and what kind of activity or safety it is likely to get. So as of now, there are many studies happening, and the data is very, very.
Sir, can I ask one more
asking,
question, sir?
Yeah, please. And you also introduce yourself. Your name is mentioned, but your faculty or from which college is not clear.
Sir, I am working in Bhaskar Institute of Pharmacy, sir. Department of Pharmacology, sir.
Okay, Dr. Avanapu is the principal, right?
No, sir. Achyut Kumar, sir.
Achyut Kumar, okay. Yeah, okay.
Sir, is plasma therapy is blood group specific or not, sir?
So no, because there are definitely compatibility should be taken care. So those should be blood group matching also should be done, because otherwise
So then,
it might.
then plasma therapy will have some definitely limitations will be there, na, sir?
Yeah, that is true. So for everything there will be some limitations. So but what we try to see is, so even if some fraction of the patients, if we can help, so that's a great help as of now. Because even drugs
Sir,
you can't
one more
give
question.
to everybody. Yeah, please.
Sir, why the dead bodies of COVID-19 infected patients are not returning to their relatives, sir? Sir, actually, that means the coronavirus will spread through droplets only, na, sir?
Yeah, that's one way.
After the death of the patient, he cannot breathe. So droplets won't come out from his body. Then why they are not returning the bodies to their relatives?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, but it is maybe present on the body also, right? Not
Virus,
only
sir?
inside the body. So the virus can be present on the body also, not only inside the body. And virus still may be surviving inside the body, even though body is dead. So that is a chance for the contamination.
Sir, last question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is repurposing of drugs, how far it is safe for treatment of COVID-19, sir?
See, that's the best thing one can do right now, because repurposing drugs means they're already tested for something. So if they're already in the market, means we are very sure that they are safe. So now what we are testing is whether they're effective or not. If they're effective, it's well and good. So remdesivir actually tested for other indications. So now what we are trying to see in phase 3 directly. So we didn't do any phase 1, phase 2, right? The company, the Gilead Sciences is the company, actually in collaboration with US or Chinese government, is doing these studies. Now they straightly did directly a phase 3 study and using a large population. So you can do that, that advanced level study, because this drug is already tested phase 3 for other indications. So the fastest way of getting the remedy is by this repurposing strategy. And this is the best strategy. Otherwise, you want to start understanding the virus and making a molecule against it and do all the process, it takes another 10 years. By the time this virus may disappear and it may mutate and maybe new virus will come.
Sir?
Yeah.
Hello?
You can speak.
Sir, repurposing is also having some disadvantages, na sir, because the doses may not be the same for both, na sir.
Yeah, good question. So what you do is right. So what is done is you start with the already tested dose. If the dose is showing some trend of activity, increase the dose. That time you do very cautiously study. But if the dose is working good enough, then no point, no issue. Then it's done. Job is done. So dose adjustments needs to be done as needed.
If the dose will exceed, means definitely toxic effects will be more, na sir.
Now, in that case, for example, if you should now, for example, remdesivir as of now, which is it is approved, basing on that it is reducing the duration of hospital stay. Okay.
Sir.
So it is only 30%, but you want to make it 50% or you want to make it 100%, and that is the idea. Then you definitely have to give the higher dose. But higher dose is not tested in other indications, so you are not sure whether it is safe or not. So then you have to start with a phase 1 trial or maybe a phase 2 trial. Start with a small subject and see that it is safe. Then you go to the phase 3. So that way it gets delayed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
I think
Praveen.
I answered you. I made it clear.
Clear. It's clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Praveen. Satyaprasad, Dr. Satyaprasad CH is having doubts, sir. Please,
Please.
Satyaprasad, can you speak, please?
Sir, good morning, sir. This is Dr. Satya from Koringa College of Pharmacy, Korangi, Kaikinada, sir.
Good morning, Satya.
Sir. How are you, sir?
Very good. Very nice. Thank you. How about you?
Sir. Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Sir, I have also a small doubt, sir. For this advanced development of drug delivery system, I have to go for some research in wound healing purpose, topical wound healing purpose. Sir, what are the different non-clinical pharmacological and toxicological studies required for the development of topical drug for wound healing, sir? What are the different non-clinical pharmacological studies, sir, or toxicological studies required for the development of topical drugs?
Right. So this comes under the category of non-clinical development, which is a regulatory toxicology study. So ideally, it needs to be done under a GLP lab. And since it is the topical application, what you need to do is the dermal sensitivity test. So the skin irritation tests are there, various tests. Normally we do is in rabbits, the skin irritation test, because they're very sensitive. So that is one test one needs to do.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, Satya.
Sir.
Okay, sir, Bhargavi is having one question. She raised her hand. Yeah, you can speak, Bhargavi. Bhargavi, please unmute and ask the question. Please unmute yourself. Okay, sir. And one question somebody asked, sir, her or his name was not mentioned. Is dose dependence on patient condition or age or both explained briefly? Is dose depends on patient condition or age or both explained briefly?
So dose dependency is any pharmacological study should be dose dependent, with the exceptions of the endpoints where it is all or none. So we call it by basics. This comes very basic question and very, very, very interesting question. And I think every student should note of it. It's a good question because basics are always the most interesting things. So dose selection will, you need any study that you do. You see, then a phase 2 also we mentioned, we are going to give a dose related study. In the toxicology studies also we mentioned, we do a single ascending dose. That's ascending dose is increasing doses. There's a dose dependent study. Then multiple ascending dose, repeatedly giving, but increasing the dose also. So the response will depend with the various factors. It depends with the type of disease and the severity of the disease. So any response for a drug has to be a dose related. If it's not dose related, We call it as a non-linear kinetics or saturation. There are many things. Even in saturation, below that saturation point, it is dose related. There is a two terms, dose linear and dose related. So linear is if 10, 20, 40 is in doubling numbers. So if the exposures are doubling numbers or response is doubling numbers, then it is linear. If it is not increasing in order, but they're not definitely that multiples of it, then it is called dose related. So the dose definitely fixation is basing on the response, and we don't want the dose to produce toxicity. So we select a dose where it shows activity and shows minimal safety concerns. So dose related is dose selection is definitely a patient dependent phenomenon. Some patients, depending on the drug properties also, the dose will be fixed.
Thank you, sir. And another doubt somebody asked, they have not mentioned their name. If person cured from COVID-19, is there chance to reinfect from COVID-19?
So that is one question which the experts are now looking at it, but some experts start believing that there are antibodies are being developed and they will be having memory. So there is a less chance. But there is also a scope that this COVID, now the present COVID, may not be tomorrow's COVID. So it might mutate. If it's mutated, and we don't know when it is mutated, how it is mutated, but it's still COVID and same symptoms, maybe even more aggressive form. So in such cases, yes, it is possible. So there is no definite clear-cut answer known as of now, but it is always think bad and be prepared is better. So if some subject who has already recovered and start getting fever or start showing any signs of symptoms, any signs, it's better test it for COVID again.
Thank you, sir. Some Siri, she raised her hand. You can ask, you can unmute your phone and you can ask. Siri, in your name, it is indicating that lovely Siri. Please ask. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your beautiful session. And now I ask our secretary madam to address about you, sir. Secretary madam, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam. Thank you. Thank you for being for the talk the whole time patiently.
I am Nagamani, Secretary of Adarsha College of Pharmacy and Director of Kohinga College of Pharmacy. This is a very wonderful session, sir. Very informative and present situation related and what are the consequences, what are the stages for this COVID-19 patients and what are the precautions and what are the drugs.
It is muted, madam. Could you please unmute it?
Madam, unmute it, please.
This is very informative, sir. Very excellent presentation you have given, and so many doubts were clarified by you for all of us. And what are the drug developments and procedures for the development of any drug is very well understood by all of us, and different stages of the drug development and what are the hurdles and what are the stages we have to overcome while developing the drug molecule and what are the goals for this drug developments and pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic goals and phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4 trials. You have very well explained, sir. And what are the opportunities for the pharmacists in this 21st century? We are really amazing by these seeing these opportunities because nobody knows about the opportunities, sir. Really, the development of this situation, COVID-19, is our sake one side. It is our sake for the development of our country in overall manufacturing of this medical devices or medicines or drugs, and so much of development will be take place in our country, and so many opportunities for our students or staff, if they want in research and development. There is a wide scope for the staff and the students. Lack of opportunities will be in our front line, and she said that the learning is only knowledge sake. You must learn the subject in a knowledge sake, not for the examination purpose. We always say that in front of our students, learn all the things in a knowledgeable manner. Don't by heart or for the sake of exam purpose. That's why we are very happy to hear your voice for encouraging our students a lot, and you are a role model to all of us in a very good encyclopedia, sir. You are an encyclopedia. Sir, you are once again remembered the Abdul Kalam's notation. Dream is not what you see in sleep. It is the thing which does not let you sleep. It's very true, sir. All of the students and staff members keep in your mind that కళలను కండం కాదు, వాటిని సాకారం చేసుకోవాలి. That is the main aim of our education and our goal. Sir, at the beginning, inconvenience of this webinar, we are regretting that for that. Sorry for that inconvenience, but anyway, our session is very, 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 very good and very extraordinary. No words to say, sir. Regarding any doubts we have in our minds, we will call you personally, sir. Sir, you must guide our institutes and our principals, our management in such a way to enrich the students for the knowledge orientation. Thanking you very much, sir. Thanking you for giving this opportunity for seeing you and sharing your knowledge to all of us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So thanks a lot, madam. It's indeed my pleasure to talking with the students, and I should thank you for giving this opportunity to deliver this talk. I'm very excited to talk on any science, and you've given a good platform, and these are wonderful students, and I'm very happy that the students do ask questions, and you're receiving so good, and it's my pleasure. I think we should plan sometime to meet personally also.
Okay, sir.
Do what we can do in this field.
You must visit our institute once, sir.
Sure, definitely.
We have to honor you, sir, personally.
Sure. It's my pleasure, man. Definitely, I will.
You have to deliver some more good things to our students, and
definitely.
all of us also. Thank you, sir.
Sure,
Thank
definitely.
You very much, thank you, all of you, doctorates, principals, staff, and students who are attended for this webinar session. And this, please attend all the seminars in future we are conducting. Thank you very much, all of you being with us. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the addressing. I request our chairman, sir, to speak some words regarding this session. Is there, madam? Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Kumar Garu.
Namaste, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And very, very good informative section, sir. But it is the first time of Pani sir going to conduct this program. That's a technical error, sir. This is the first technical error. But after that, it is a very nice and smooth, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We will welcome to your institution at any time, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I thank to all the participants who are in this webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir, for giving this opportunity. It is Both institutes are wonderful. You're doing a great job,
Thank you.
and hope to all meet soon again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, madam sitting behind our chairman sir is our young director sir. Ravalka garu. I wanted to introduce you sir. Ravalka garu. She's
Hello,
our
madam.
young director and she very cooperative with us. Sir. Madam, please introduce yourself.
Hi, sir. This is Pravalika. Actually, I'm pursuing my PhD, and I'm second daughter of P. Kankaraj Garu. And yeah.
No, good to see young leadership. You know, young leadership can make a big difference. It's a lot of responsibility also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kumar sir. And I thank our chairman sir, as well as our coordinator, secretary, AO, and principals of various colleges, professors, faculty members, students who are participating in this webinar. And I would like to say very sorry regarding the arrangements. That is nothing but some problems arise. On behalf of our college, I am responsible for the same. Next time, I am promising you that I will conduct this in an effective manner, and I will show you the same. So kindly accept my request that no technical errors will be occurred in future. So I thank Dr. Eshwar Gupta Garu, CR Reddy College, who helped us a lot. Dr. Ramesh Garu, Viper, Principal. Dr. Panda Garu, Raghu College of Pharmacy, Principal. Dr. Suresh Jits, Principal. Dr. Srinu, AKRG Coordinator, as well as Dr. Bhavani Garu, our Principal, Kwaringa College of Pharmacy. Dr. Sachiprasad, Kwaringa College of Pharmacy. Dr. Ashok, Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy, and all remaining faculty who helped me a lot. I thank you very much.
Nice sir. Nice sir.
I thank Dr. Nageshwara Garu, Director, KJRL College of Pharmacy. If I left any names, it is not willful. Heartily, bottom of my heart, I am thanking you, each and every person who participated in this webinar and who helped me a lot. Especially, I thank Naveen Reddy, who helped me a lot, and my faculty, my team. For conducting such a beautiful webinar. Thank you very much. And regarding the feedback forms, I would like to say one thing. Tomorrow we will send you the feedbacks through your respective email IDs. And after filling up feedback forms, you will get the certificates. And Facebook live stream, YouTube live stream was not what's that carried on. So we will send you the record of this session at the end, and based upon your subscription, definitely I will provide you the registration certificate. Definitely. In this regard, I thank each and everyone who participated in the same. Thank you, Chairman sir. Thank you, Secretary Madam. Thank you, Kumar Garu, Speaker Dr. Kumar Garu, Director, Sri Vishnu College of Pharmacy. Thank you very much, sir. And if any technical aspects have occurred, I am very sorry for the same, sir.
No, it's all right, funny. It's first time, so still it's very good. So don't worry. Don't say sorry. It's okay. It happens.
One thing, sir, Kumar sir.
Yeah.
Last 3 days back, our Korangi College Pharmacy Principal Bhavani Madam is nominated as a executive committee member for Jain to Kakinada, sir. It is for information as well, who are not the previous webinar. I want to glad her for that position, sir.
Oh, congratulations to Bhavani Madam. Yeah.
So thank you, sir. This is all about, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, good. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kankaraj Garu.
Yeah.
Thank you, participants.
Good session.